Beneath the bright skies of New South Wales lie forests where the light doesn't quite reach the ground and where the air seems to hold its breath. You step past the tree line and the world changes. Sounds are muffled, shadows twist in ways they shouldn't, and the wind carries whispers that know your name. Tonight, we wander deep into the wild heart of NS Thalers, through woodlands that guard their secrets with roots, branches, and restless spirits. Some of these places have been feared for centuries. Others hide tragedies the land refuses to forget. 10. Balonglow State Forest, Southern Highlands. The first thing you notice here isn't the beauty of the towering pines, it's the silence. Balonglow State Forest has a reputation that even locals speak of in lowered voices. In the 1990s, this place was forever stained by the crimes of the backpacker murderer, Ivan Milat, who buried his victims among these trees. Since then, the forest has become a symbol of unease, and those who venture in after dark often report feeling followed. The wind through the needles sounds almost like breathing. Some say they've seen figures dart between the trunks never fully visible, but enough to make your skin prickle. Others have stumbled upon crude campsites deep in the woods, abandoned, but with belongings left behind, as if the owners vanished mid-step. There are whispers of phantom screams echoing through the valleys, and an oppressive sense of dread that grows the deeper you go. Whether it's the ghosts of the victims, the lingering shadow of Milat's evil, or something older that the forest hides, Balonglow remains a place where even the bravest rarely linger past sunset. And if you do, you might find the forest knows exactly where you are. 9. Watagans National Park, Hunter Region. By day, the Watagans are a place of lush green beauty, with mossy boulders and waterfalls that seem almost enchanted. But as dusk falls, the atmosphere changes. This park sits on land sacred to the Awabakal and Darkinjung peoples, steeped in ancient stories and spiritual significance. The rock carvings here are thousands of years old, and some say they mark places where the spirit world brushes against our own. Bushwalkers have reported sudden drops in temperature on warm nights, shadows moving against the direction of the light, and voices speaking in languages they cannot understand. There are stories of hikers hearing footsteps just behind them, only to turn and find nothing. Others claim to have been escorted out of the forest by unseen presences, as if being firmly, but politely, told to leave. The most unsettling tales come from campers who have woken to find their tents unzipped from the outside, yet no signs of animals or humans nearby. In the Watagans, it's said that if you don't show respect to the land and to the spirits, you won't be welcome for long. 8. Noon's State Forest, Wolgan Valley. Hidden in the rugged landscapes near Lithgow, Noon's State Forest is surrounded by steep cliffs and ghost towns from the coal mining days. The ruins of the old shale works still stand in silence, and at night, the wind carries a low moan through the valley. Locals tell of strange lights moving in the distance, sometimes mistaken for lanterns, other times glowing orbs that hover among the trees. There's an old story about miners who died in sudden rockfalls. Their bodies never recovered. Campers have reported hearing the distant ring of pickaxes and the faint sound of men calling to each other underground. Long after the mines were sealed, drivers passing through the forest at night have seen lone figures standing by the roadside, staring with hollow eyes, only to vanish when approached. Even the animals here behave oddly. Kangaroos freeze and stare into the trees as if tracking something you can't see. And when the mist rolls in, it swallows the road so completely that you could be the only living soul for miles, or one among many unseen. 7. Monga National Park, the rain-soaked labyrinth, deep in the southern tablelands. Monga National Park is a tangle of ancient temperate rainforest, where giant tree ferns spread overhead like green umbrellas. It's beautiful. Yes, but beauty doesn't keep you safe here. Locals whisper that the forest doesn't just watch you, it remembers you. The Yuin people hold this land sacred, and its history stretches far beyond the arrival of Europeans. On mist-heavy mornings, some hikers say the tracks seem to shift, leading them in circles until they feel an unseen hand guiding them back. Others speak of voices calling softly from the trees, sometimes familiar voices of loved ones who aren't there. When rain falls, the sound becomes hypnotic, and there are tales of people vanishing after stepping off the trail, chasing something only they could hear. The park is also home to the haunting Singing Stones rock formations that emit a low hum when touched. Scientists blame resonance and moisture, but those who have heard it say the tone feels alive, as if the stones themselves are speaking. Here, the forest doesn't just surround you, it draws you deeper into itself, and some fear it might not let you go. 6. Piliga Forest, the Howling Plains, covering over 500,000 hectares. The Piliga is one of the largest forests in New South Wales, and it has a reputation that makes travelers think twice before stopping at night. The Gamilaroi people tell stories of a spirit woman who roams the forest edges, warning the unwary. But in more recent decades, it's been associated with the mysterious Piliga Yoi, a towering, ape-like creature said to stalk campers and drivers. Truckers have reported pacing footsteps outside their cabs, heavy and deliberate, in the dead of night. Campers hear guttural growls in the darkness, accompanied by the snap of branches, yet nothing is visible in the beam of a torch. There are also accounts of spectral lights weaving through the trees, vanishing the moment you try to follow. Some locals say the forest has moods calm one day, oppressive the next, and that if the wind carries the sound of a woman crying, you should leave immediately. The Piliga doesn't just feel remote, it feels alive, as if the land itself is measuring whether you belong. 5. Bington Tops National Park, the snow ghosts high in the Great Dividing Range. Bington Tops is known for its winter snowfalls and alpine wilderness, but beauty turns treacherous here when the mists descend. The Warimi people's legends speak of spirits that roam the mountains, and early European settlers added their own tales of missing cattle, abandoned camps, and travelers who never returned. Rangers tell of strange tracks appearing overnight in the snow too large for any known animal, yet too human to be dismissed. Some hikers have reported seeing figures ahead on the trail, only to watch them dissolve into the mist. Others claim to have felt sudden blasts of icy wind on still days, accompanied by the faint sound of boots crunching snow behind them. On the most silent nights, you might hear faint, rhythmic knocking. Some say it's snow-laden branches falling. Others believe it's the ghostly signal of lost explorers, forever trying to find their way home. In Bington Tops, you're never truly alone. even when the world is white and still. 4. Nightcap National Park, the Rainforest Vale, up in the Northern Rivers region. Nightcap National Park is a UNESCO-listed rainforest with waterfalls that tumble like silver veils. But when the sun dips, the canopy closes in, and the forest feels ancient in a way that swallows time. The Bundjalung people hold many sacred sites here, and their stories speak of spirit guardians who patrol the land. Night hikers have described sudden, suffocating darkness, thicker than any natural night, accompanied by the sound of running water where no stream exists. Some report catching glimpses of pale figures at the edge of torchlight, watching from behind vines and tree trunks. There are also tales of a glowing woman seen drifting along the forest paths after storms, her gown soaked and dripping, vanishing into the mist before anyone can follow. The deeper trails carry an almost magnetic pull, as though the forest is quietly urging you onward. But those who give in and wander off the marked path sometimes emerge hours or even days later, dazed and unable to remember where they've been. Here, the veil between worlds feels impossibly thin. 3. Morton National Park, the Canyon of Echoes, stretching across the Southern Highlands. Morton National Park is home to deep gorges, hidden caves, and sandstone cliffs that catch the last light like blood-orange fire. By day, the park feels open and wild. By night, it becomes a labyrinth of echoing voices. Campers near the Etrima Wilderness report hearing long, drawn-out calls at night, sometimes words, sometimes screams that bounce between the cliffs in ways that make it impossible to tell where they came from. Some say the voices call their names, luring them toward the canyon edges. Old bushwalking records tell of missing hikers whose last known locations were marked by strange, spiral-shaped rock formations, as if the stones had been deliberately arranged. Local lore suggests the area is haunted by spirits of bushrangers who used the cliffs as hideouts, and whose restless souls now wander the ravines. The wind here seems to carry secrets, and if you stop to listen, you may hear more than you wanted. 2. Urango Billilly, the Snowy River Shadows, hidden within Kosciuszko National Park. The Urango Billilly caves are surrounded by dense alpine forest that changes character with the seasons. In winter, snow muffles every sound except the creak of ice-laden branches. In summer, the shadows from the trees grow long and sharp, and the air feels charged with static. Visitors have reported hearing whispers from within the cave's words in no known language, and seeing shapes moving deep inside without a source of light. The surrounding forest has its own mysteries, footprints in the snow that start and stop abruptly, the smell of smoke from fires that don't exist, and the occasional sighting of a man in old miner's clothing who disappears if approached. Even scientists who study the cave formations admit that Urango Billilly has an odd presence. Some speculate it's the mix of geology and isolation. Others aren't so sure. Here, the line between natural wonder and supernatural intrusion is razor thin. 1. Doro National Park, the mist that hunts high on the waterfall way. Doro National Park greets visitors with breathtaking lookouts and rainforests so lush it feels primeval. But when the mists roll in, and they often do, the forest becomes something else entirely. The Gumbaingir people have long told of spirits inhabiting these hills, warning that the fog is more than just weather. Walkers caught in it have reported feeling followed. Their footsteps echoed just out of sync. Some claim to have seen figures moving ahead of them, only to vanish into the white. The air here has a strange dampness, clinging to your skin like a living thing. Rangers have spoken of hearing dripping water where there is no source, and of finding strange woven shapes hanging from branches, swaying as though someone or something had placed them there moments before. The mists can roll in without warning, and once they do, the world narrows to just a few feet. Many say that's when you feel it, a presence that seems to circle you, unseen but undeniably close. In Dorigo, the forest doesn't just hide you. It surrounds you, waits for you, and sometimes it takes you. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this chilling journey, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite haunted location, and subscribe for more weekly videos from the shadows.